the Big America Gaming and Esports Show podcast. Check us out on YouTube and Spotify. What's up, everybody? Well, thanks for tuning in. This is your host, Big America, for the Big America Gaming and Esports Show podcast. I'm here with a longtime friend, content creator, streamer, firefighter. I mean, there's stuff that he does it all. The guy needs no introduction for me, but for all of you, obviously, he needs an introduction. His name is JollySmokeEater, former streamer on Mixer, moved over to Twitch, and now from Twitch to Kick, which is a path that it seems like a lot of people are taking now. So, Jolly, do you want to take a minute to... I mean, I know I gave you, like, the rollout red carpet here, but anything you want to add? Introduce yourself. Say hi to the people.
Bruce Lee would be jealous of that rollout there. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is JollySmokeEater on Kick. Now, I still am a said YouTube. Yeah, I've been doing this for a little over 3 years now, probably gone on about 3.5 years. Started over on Mixer with Big America. Back in the day, went over to Twitch for a while and did a stint over on YouTube before we switched over to Kick and have been doing wonderfully over here since. I have been in Fire and EMS for 16 years. Local area over here in Pennsylvania, Pennsyltucky, those of you that might be familiar with that area there. And yeah, that's what we do. We just do that whole streaming thing, you know, slowly wasting my life away on Apex, I guess is what they call it these days.
That is still your main game, 100%. So I wanted to, I mean, it's been long overdue that you come on this show.
Absolutely.
I started, this is going to be episode 4. If you guys go back my recent episodes, I was with Twitch partner, the Raven Armed, a great guy. I was with one of the greatest female Octane Apex players, Beam and Bandit. Well, I think she changed her name now, so don't quote me on that one. She's over on Twitch as well. And then my first episode was with 2 of my friends, you know, in real life, Chris and Maria. They came over, which shout out to them. They have their own podcast as well called the Two Cloud of Mind Show over on YouTube. Be sure to go check them out as well. So I've had basically, you know, regular people on here giving me their opinions that aren't in the industry, which was nice. And then I had an Apex player give me her thoughts on, you know, the game and the gaming industry in a whole. And then I had the Twitch partner, the Raven Armed, on here giving me his thoughts on the streaming business and streaming industry. So now I feel like I'm coming full circle and bringing it all together. I have a borderline professional Apex player here. I mean, let's just, you don't do any competitions, but I mean, you play the game enough. You're a Masters player. You're basically a pro Apex player at this point.
Depends on the day.
And a seasoned content creator / streamer. So you are kind of the best of, you know, all worlds here. But more importantly, I wanted you on because you are one of the few people that I know as of now that I've known for a long time that switched over to this new streaming platform, Kick. And that's kind of where I wanted to start tonight, is on your initial thoughts, comments. We'll get into concerns later, but right now, what are your initial thoughts on this new platform? Because as you know, when a new streaming platform comes around, everyone kind of just, oh my God, like, we got to go. It's the best thing ever. You know, like, oh my God, YouTube's starting live streaming. We gotta go over to YouTube. And we all see how that's working out. So, yes, give me a quick lowdown on what you think.
Well, Kick. You know, with us, you know, doing this for the last couple of years now, there's been some platforms that have come and gone, so to say. You know, Mixer, where we all started on it here, you know, is obviously no longer with us, and the remnants of it is not even with us anymore here. You know, Facebook gaming is not even a thing either, you know, courtesy of The old Zuckerberg over there running that one straight into the ground with a 747. You know, and Glamesh too was another one. You know, and you're right. There's a lot of that hype when a new platform comes around. You know, I can say with the last couple years, Glamesh probably had the most hype around it out of the ones that have come around.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has probably failed the worst.
Not to cut you off, but do you think that was strictly because everyone was saying Glamesh was being made by the former Mixer partners?
It was two reasons, I think, with Glamesh. One, it was touted as the second coming of Mixer, basically, and that was partially their doing, and partially it got away from them. And it was also that they released that platform, I think, earlier than what they should have. When they released it in alpha form, it was not in good shape. And as is with pretty much everything in life, quite honestly, first impressions are a big thing. And Glamesh started off with a very bad, very, very bad first impression. And I think that platform never really had a chance before it ever started. They had really good backing with it. They had really good support. They were, I think, probably one of the more open platforms as far as, you know, what they were doing business-wise, finances, stuff like that. But they never had a chance. You know, they were dead before they ever started. Trovo is another one, too. Trovo is doing very well for itself, but that's because Trovo kind of went into... has kind of fallen into where Trovo belonged in the first place. Trovo was always meant to be a mobile gaming platform, right? You know, but then you had all these people who are jumping over, trying to make it into something that it really wasn't supposed to be. You know, it was supposed to be a European kind of mobile gaming platform. That you have all of these Americans jumping over on it there, and they're like, "Oh, Call of Duty," and Trovo's like, "I don't know what the hell you guys are doing over here, but sure, why not?" They just kind of jumped on it. It got away from them. Kick's been around for a little while.
Trovo never claimed to be those things either.
No,
it's not like you know what I mean. Like,
no, that was completely the community that made Trovo what that was, and Trovo was just like, well, I guess we're not going to try and stop this. So let's see how it goes, you know. And it went for a while, and then it kind of leveled out to, I think, kind of where Trovo's really supposed to be, you know, which is mobile gaming and stuff like that. If you go on Trovo now, the most popular people on Trovo are South American, you know, Brazil type area there, and a lot of European people that are playing a lot of mobile games. That's really what Trovo was always supposed to be. It's got a lot of money. It's got a lot of money backing it. And Trovo's not going anywhere anytime soon. But the way the platform is, it is what it is with that. So as far as Kick is concerned, Kick's been an interesting platform so far. Kick's been around for a little while, but they have a lot of money as well backing them. The difference between the two platforms is Kick has decided to really branch out into gaming and stuff like that, whereas they were only basically a gambling platform before that. So it's been an interesting experience so far coming over here. It has definitely kind of fallen into a little bit of a Mixer feel to it here. And I think that's partially just due to the fact you have a lot of people who are from Mixer who are over here. It still has that smaller community feel to it there, you know, and you and I were just talking about this yesterday, you know, and Mixer was one of those platforms, even towards the end there, where if you could hit 10 views or so consistently on Apex in particular, on Mixer, you were in the top part of views for Mixer. And if you could do that consistently, you could start to grow pretty quick. And it feels like Kick's on that same path too.
Yeah.
Kick as a platform has done a good job of kicking, for lack of better terms. Sorry, had to do it. Had to do it. I had to do it. They've done a good job of getting away from the a lot of the kind of perceived notion that they are just a gambling platform and that's all they care about. They've done a really good job of separating those two businesses and actually implementing tools as well through the platform that enable you to, hey, I don't want to see gambling and slots and stuff like that. Or, hey, I don't want to see, chicks in hot tubs streaming for money. They've embraced that. They know that stuff's here on the platform, and they're here to make money off of that stuff. But they also know that there's a lot of people on the platform, even as viewers, not even as streamers, but just as viewers who don't want to see that stuff. And they have gone out of their way to make stuff available to not see that stuff, which is more than I can say that Twitch has done.
Yeah.
So as a platform, moving over here so far, the last month, 2 months, it's been a good experience. They have a lot to improve upon on this platform, for sure, as we are well aware. But they are getting there.
So, all right, before we get into the cons, or not even cons, but what you think they can improve upon just yet, what... I feel like concerns and things that they could improve upon are a little bit different when we're talking to Kick. Like, right. I feel... so, like, one of my concerns with Kick is their money management. And I don't know if that stems with me from Mixer, because that's how Mixer went down. So I have this kind of preconceived fear, whenever a new platform comes up, is, how are they, especially when you see a new platform, spending the money, like when you physically see where they're spending their money, you know what I mean? Like when you see YouTube signing Tim the Tapman and Dr. Disrespect, you're like, okay, but there's fucking $100 million, out the door that they're not, that they don't have anymore. And that's how I'm starting to, I don't want to feel it with Kick, but at the same time I do, because right now, like you said, their primary backing source of revenue is gambling and casinos. In particular, a Stake, right?
Yeah, Stake is who owns Kick.
Okay, yeah. So they've been spending a lot of money. I mean, they signed XQC
for $100 million.
For $100 million. Yeah.
Just for him.
And then not to mention, again, streamers look at what I'm about to say and go, oh, fuck yeah, this is awesome. With the, 95% split with the sub revenue, with the incoming 100% profit from Kicks when they have eventually released that, which is, for those of you that don't know, the like bit equivalent. If you're on Twitch, it's gonna the bits are gonna be called Kicks on Kick, obviously. That'll go 100% to the streamer. And so when you see stuff like that, you and I, doing this for so long, don't automatically go, oh, fuck yeah, this is awesome, I'm getting more money. We go, how is this company making money?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You look at the struggles that Twitch is having and has had for quite a few years. It's not even a COVID era issue. It is a multi-year issue. And Twitch has never really been profitable since Justin TV. Now, is that partially their own fault? Yes. Twitch has run a lot like Twitter was before Musk took them over. They have way more overhead than they probably need to run the company. With that being said, it costs a lot of money to run a streaming service. If you go back to Glamesh and look at their board meeting reports, they were very open and honest about what kind of money it was taking month after month to operate that platform. It's not as simple as people think of, oh, it's the internet. You just buy a webcam, you do this, you click this button, and you go live, and things happen. There is ungodly amounts of infrastructure that go into that kind of stuff. Now, mind you, yes, they do have Amazon's backing with that stuff. But with that being said, there's a lot of money that goes into that stuff in day-to-day costs and related expenses to make the platform work that you're streaming on. And Twitch is complaining about a 70-30 split for a very select few of people on that platform. Most everybody on that platform is at a 50-50 split.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still not quote-unquote profitable. Now, again, it goes back to, yes, they probably have more overhead than they should. They probably have more employees than they should. They're probably spending money on a lot of dumb things that they don't need to spend money on. But a 5% split on subs on a platform this small doesn't get you very far. It doesn't. And you have costs that are related. Even just one cost out of many is your card processing fees and how much money you're probably incurring. You are incurring on just people spending money, people paying you money. It costs money for people to pay you money on a digital site like this. Your credit card processing fees are going to be just exponential. And that's cutting into that 5% that you're getting as a platform. So where's that money coming from? How long is that 95-5 split going to last?
Right. And because they are backed, there's no company really besides and correct me if I'm wrong, but that would be besides Facebook and YouTube. I think Kick and Trovo and Twitch, they're all backed by someone.
Yes.
Right. YouTube and Facebook are independent, correct? When it comes to streaming,
YouTube is Google. So
okay,
they have,
all right, yeah.
They have Alphabet. Alphabet is what's backing that. YouTube is profitable in and of itself. Don't get me wrong. It took them years and years and years and years and years of Alphabet dumping absolutely criminal amounts of money into YouTube before YouTube was profitable. And if you look at the numbers, YouTube's only been profitable for the last couple of years in of itself overall. Facebook's the same way too. Trovo is... Yeah, and even then, they're still not back to where they started necessarily, quote unquote.
And it's only a select few people on YouTube that are making them money.
Oh, fuck yeah. The people like Linus Tech Tips and stuff like that.
Right. Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So my point being is because, Kick is backed, by a company, even if Kick itself wanted to continue with the streaming stuff, tomorrow Stake could wake up and be like, yeah, we're not going to back you anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's like, okay.
Stake is a multi-billion-dollar gambler. They're a casino. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. But so is Microsoft. Or a multi-trillion, hundreds of trillions of dollars a year company that was backing Mixer.
Yeah.
And they gave up.
Yeah.
And there's not too many people in the world that can take on Bill Gates' money. Stake's not one of them. Stake's not one of them. There's not too many people that sit at that round table. Stake's not one of them.
Yeah.
So
and that's where the doubts start coming in with money, is when you have a multi-trillion-dollar company that abandoned ship. It's kind of like, well, shit, and it sucks because I don't feel like Kick is trying to sucker people into coming. I think they've been pretty transparent as to where they are as a platform. But at the same time, they're also really egging on the things that they think are gonna entice people to come over.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Hey, you're going to get double the sub money here from Twitch. You're going to get 100% of the kicks. You're going to get more exposure. Our discoverability is better. And again, people that are just starting to get into this industry or want to start streaming hear and see that, and they're like, oh, this is fucking golden. This is streamer heaven. This is perfect. This is what I want. I want to make money doing the minimal amount of work. And unfortunately, that's a huge red flag for people like us, because we're like, well, for people like us who already have a following, it's tough to switch platforms as many times as we did. Nor do we want to.
No.
We didn't want to do that. We just we were forced to because of, situations. And so, when you do move over to a new platform, you have to think of all these things, because the last thing you want to do is move over to a new platform, bring your thousands of followers and viewers over, and then have that platform shit the bed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like me personally, I feel like a selfish scumbag if that were to happen. So as you know, I've been streaming both on Twitch and Kick for the past week, just to get Twitch people over to Kick if they choose. I'm not, begging anybody to do it, but every time I've done that, Jolly, how many times have you seen people come over?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty consistent for you for the last week or so. You've,
Every
had
night.
really good luck. Yeah, every time that you have streamed so far, you've had people from Twitch who either didn't know that you were streaming again or just so happened to come across you that have made the move over to Kick. And all you can do at that point is just hope that they stay. I mean, the bottom line when you switch platforms is you are going to lose people. I mean, look at Tim the Tap Man, even look at XQC. XQC was averaging probably in about that 60 to 80 to 100,000 range over on Twitch. He's already dropped down to the high 30s, low 40s on an average night for him. Tim the Tap Man did the same thing too. He's averaging in like the high teens, low 20s right now, and he was up like 50, 60,000 when he was on Twitch. That's a YouTube problem in of itself. That's a whole different conversation, but yeah, that's a whole different conversation there. But it is difficult to switch platforms like that just in general.
And it's like we feel bad, and I say we because I know you're going to agree with me on this, where like our followers that follow us wherever we go is, a sense of loyalty that is fantastic. And we appreciate that when people do that. We don't expect it, but, we've had people follow us. Both of us have had people follow us from Mixer to Twitch and now to Kick.
Mm-hmm.
And, if Kick fails, like at some point people are just going to go like, can you just pick a fucking platform, please?
Right.
Like, I don't want to keep making like 4 different accounts on 4 different platforms just to watch you. That ain't happening. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I get it. I'd be the same way. You know what I mean? So that is one of the, things when we're thinking of our fans switching platforms, especially to a new one like this. And now this is probably going to take up the rest of our podcast, but what are your concerns with Kick? We kind of just touched on it. One is the budget, the money. Yeah. So
I would say that's really probably the number one thing right now.
Sure.
How long is the money going to last over here? And what are they doing really to improve the platform? Because the platform on PC is not bad. On mobile, it's fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
But in their defense, Kick was never meant for what it's being used for right now. It was just a gambling platform up until, about 6 months or so ago when they were like, fuck it, we're going to send it straight into gaming and see how this works out.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of work to do on that side of it with improving their whole UI, just in general across the board. I think right now they're in a good spot, and hopefully they stay with this, where they're being open, they're being responsive to community questions, concerns, constructive criticism, and they are taking that into account. They're being active right now with their community. Mm-hmm. YouTube was like that when they had brought Tim the Tap Man over, when they had gotten Doc over into the platform. They were always doing community updates, community QAs, all kinds of different stuff like that. And then Google decided, fuck the streaming stuff. It's not profitable. They took most of that money away and they moved it over to YouTube Shorts. And that's where it stayed. Yeah. They lost a lot of their people who were working on streaming stuff. You never see them put out updates anymore. It's been about 1.5 years since they said that they were going to completely redesign their entire UI for that platform, because that's the main issue with YouTube right now and why it hasn't really run over Twitch, is its UI. If Kick continues to go the way that they're going to be in a good place. But if the money starts to run out and they start to get pressure from up high on this stuff, they're going to fall into the same problems that YouTube's been having and that killed Facebook, and they're going to fall the same way too with this stuff here. Discoverability is not terrible on this platform. It's got a lot of positives to it, but the main concern, I think, really has to be right now is the money, and are they going to make the improvements that they need to make the platform what it has to be in order to really compete with Twitch, because that is their main source of competition right now is Twitch. And until they can get this to a point where they can really convince a lot of people on Twitch to make that move, they're not going to get people off of Twitch and onto Kick. Signing XQC is not enough. Getting Trainwrecks over here is not enough. Getting Aiden Ross or whatever the hell that guy's name is, it's not enough. Getting Amaranth over here, not enough.
No.
They have to do more as a platform to do that stuff.
So, on that note, is there anything you've seen Kick do since launch that has shown you, like, okay, they're actually investing in this side and they give a shit and they're trying?
Yeah, one of the biggest things I would say is how they have really separated themselves from Stake as a company. One of the biggest things that I think kept people away from Kick was thanks to, quite honestly, people like Trainwrecks and Aiden Ross and those guys who were running their mouths all over the place on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere they could possibly put an opinion out about how much all of Twitch's, anti-gambling stuff sucked, and they were going to Kick because gambling. Kick's done a really good job of separating church and state, so to say, with that, and keeping that whole, hey, we're a gambling platform thing out of the light more so, and fronting themselves as, hey, we're your friendly neighborhood streaming platform. Come be with us. Come be with a community. I think that's been one of their biggest positives that they've made so far. I think one of the biggest positives as well in the last 2 months that they have done was be open and honest about how bad their mobile platform is, and that they are working on redesigning the mobile platform so that people can actually watch it. Because I know I have a lot of people, depending on the day, I have a lot of people who try and watch on mobile. I know you do as well sometimes, again, depending on the day.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to do anything right now on the mobile platform. It is watchable, but you have to have good internet. You have to know how to use it. It's not exactly the most user-friendly, and it can be very finicky. You have to want to watch the person that you're watching.
You
really
can't sub.
No, you can't do anything right now off of that platform, but you have to really want to watch that person because it will give you issues. You will have to restart it a bunch of times. You will have to go in and out of it a bunch of times to make it work. If you go to like half screen or something, like if you want to go, look at something on Facebook or something, try and come back, you might have to restart the whole damn mobile app again. You have to really want to watch that person that you're watching. And most people, even if they're a loyal viewer, they will get annoyed with that stuff and they will not come back, which means that you lose that view for that night or maybe into the future because they know, hey, listen, man, I really, I'm going to the gym, really just kind of want to throw, Biggie on real quick or whatever. And, hang out with him for a couple minutes. But, oh, man, that Kick app just really fucking sucks. You know what? Screw this. Such and such is on over on Twitch, man. I'm just going to pull him off, watch him for a few minutes.
Yeah. Did you know Kick has ads on YouTube, by the way?
I have heard. I have not seen. I personally have YouTube Premium. I have had YouTube Premium for a number of years now. I've had it actually since it was YouTube Red. It's worth the money. Trust me, it's worth the money.
Yeah, I was watching something on YouTube and I was getting an ad and it was for fucking Kick and I'm like, no way. Are they doing that right now? Like,
oh yeah, they don't care. YouTube doesn't care. They'll take your money. They don't care. As long as you're not promoting, hate speech or terrorism or, binary, non-binary M&Ms, you're good.
And in YouTube's mind too, it's like, well, if you're seeing the ad, you're not giving us money anyway.
Yeah. Right, right. YouTube doesn't see Kick as competition right now. They don't. The only person
Do you think that's dumb on their part? Like,
from a business standpoint, yes and no. Right now, Kick's not making enough of an impact on the market to really see them as actual competition. And Twitch is the one who's really at risk here with that train of thought, because Kick is going to be the main source of competition here until YouTube really fixes the problems that they have over there with their UI being the main issue. They're not really competition to anybody, you know. They're not, you know. But YouTube is such a massive platform. They got a corner on their own market. They don't really care. They just don't really care. So it's really kind of between Twitch and Kick is where the competition is with that. So yeah, YouTube don't care. They'll take your money because they're not worried about it. What are you going to do? Take our viewers? We don't have any anyways. It's true. It's true. We don't have any. Fuck them. The only people that watch live streams over on YouTube are people who are watching that channel. You know, its discoverability is non-existent on that platform, and that's one of Kick's strongest things right now. But they need to do better with that stuff as well. That's been the biggest struggle over on Twitch for years and years and years, is discoverability. And that's always been the $1,000,000 question, right? How do you make that platform more discoverable? Okay, well, Kick is set up the exact same way that Twitch is. It's damn near the same thing. So how do you make discoverability better on that platform? What are they going to do that?
And the only reason why the discoverability is better on Kick is just simply because there's not that many people over there.
100%.
You know,
I mean, you and
you start pulling the numbers that Twitch are pulling, you're going to have the same fucking issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last night, you and I, we were up in the, 15, 20, view range.
Yeah.
And we were on the front page for Apex.
We were the second row.
Yeah. We were there. We were it. We were headlining Broadway last night, boys.
I think
that ain't on Twitch.
I think I was number one when I played. What was it?
Probably
it
Rocket
was either
League.
Diablo. It was either Diablo or Rocket League. I was number one.
Rocket League.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is insane. And that's kind of like how it was on Mixer. I was the number one Valorant streamer on Mixer. And I'm fucking trash at Valorant. Oh my God, am I absolute dog shit. But I would wake up, and that was when I was doing like morning streams.
Yep.
And I would be the number one with I was pulling probably like 60, 70 people, but still, being number one on a platform with 70 people is just fucking unheard
We're
of.
used to the Kick numbers, or not Kick, the Twitch numbers, where 60, 70 people, you're like, okay, you're not even partnered with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you are literally nobody. You know, and the one of the easiest ways to grow on Mixer was to be a variety streamer, a variety of the obscure streamer.
Right.
You would just get on random ass games. Like, I like to do Splinter Cell on the weekends with a buddy of mine that comes and watch the streams. You might just occasionally get somebody. Like, that's how I got partner over on Mixer. Not partner, excuse me, affiliate over on Mixer, was streaming the random and obscure. Like, I would play Resident Evil 4, and next thing you know, I got 10 fucking follows because they're like, oh my God, somebody's actually playing Resident Evil. Thank you so much for playing this. There was just none of that. We're on Twitch. It's like, you can't not play a game and just be in the obscure on there.
And if you got early access to a game on Mixer, you were God.
Oh, whole fucking platform was watching you at that point.
Oh my God, yeah. And it's like Twitch, it's like, oh cool, yeah, you have early access, so does like 10 million other people that are streaming it right now. Like, because that was me with Cyberpunk. When I got early access to Cyberpunk, and when I was streaming that on Mixer, oh my fucking God, everyone came in there and was like, oh my God, how is it? And I'm trying not to be like, this game sucks, but
right.
I got
fucking buy
you know what what
the big
game...
E, don't buy this game.
Right. You know what game I actually really attribute to taking off my streaming career on Mixer was?
What's that?
Paladins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. I got raided by the actual Paladins channel.
Oh, yeah.
On Mixer with like a couple hundred people, and I'm pretty sure my computer just had a stroke.
Yep.
because that was when I only had one PC. And it was some like it was like $100 PC that I bought off some fucking random dude in the back of a shrimp van from Facebook Marketplace. It was terrible. It was not made to do what I was doing. And oh my God, dude, like the people, and I got so many followers from that game. And it's one of those games where, like, again, you stream on Twitch, no one's watching. No one's going to follow it. No one gives a flying fuck about that game at all.
One of the biggest things that I hear, and there's a lot of the OG Mixer people because they remember it, right? A lot of the things that I hear people ask for and talk about on Kick is that they need, well, not even that, but that's a good one too. Hype Zone. They need to start some kind of hype zone. They need to start some kind of hype zone over on Kick here. Right now, I don't know that the overall Kick community is quite big enough for that. Because
can you explain real quick before you continue? Can you explain what a hype zone is, quick, for those that?
So hype zone is a OG Mixer thing there, and it was a really good one for people who were just starting out. You would have a hype zone that would go across games, and it would stay in your channel for, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes or so, 3 to 5 minutes, something like that. But it would generally jump in. If you got really lucky, it would jump in when you were like right at the end of an Apex game or something like that. And if you'd win it, it'd be fucking awesome. But a lot of people who were in Hype Zone were there to either discover new people or they were there to see crazy shit happen. Be it that Hype Zone was way up in views that day. I mean, there was times when Hype Zone on Apex was rolling around with 200, 300, 500 people. Like all of Mixer was just sitting in Hype Zone, and each game category had their own Hype Zone. There wasn't just one Hype Zone for like the entire platform. So it was a great way to get discovered by people in the community who otherwise wouldn't find you. And it was a great way to not only meet people, I should say, but also to get your content out there in kind of a short form to people who were kind of specifically looking for that type of content, other streamers. And a lot of people weren't just streamers who were in Hype Zone. They were really just viewers who were either looking for someone new or looking for something crazy to happen. Like I said, you'd have sometimes Hype Zone would be way up there, 200, 300, 500 people in Hype Zone, and everybody would just dogpile in Hype Zone to have Hype Zone come across to some poor bastard who had like fucking 2 views and his dog sitting over there with a fucking 480p camera jacking off in his parents' fucking basement. And next thing you know, Hype Zone comes in with 500 people and this guy just absolutely strokes the fuck out. You hear his stepmom upstairs telling little Timmy to shut the fuck up, you know, all the kind of crazy shit that used to happen in Hype Zone.
Shut the fuck up, Terry.
Yeah, exactly. Back it up, Terry, back it up.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Put it in reverse. But there was all kinds of crazy stuff that happened in Hype Zone. But it was a great way to get discovered in general, just on the platform with that. I think they need something like that on Kick too. They've got a really good small community going on here. A lot of the people, in my experiences that I've been able to interact with, raid, on day-to-day basis here, have been very good streamers. They've been very receptive to other people coming in. They haven't been complete tool bags. You get the random 1 or 2 morons that are out there streaming, which that's going to be on any platform. But overall, you have people who they're willing to follow back for you. They're willing to do this, do that, and not only be a part of their own community, but come and be a part of your community too. I've had a lot of people who I've rated who have come back to my channel to say hello the next day, day after, whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
And so they need to build more on that community aspect of things.
So do you think, well, I'll tell you what I think first is I do feel, because Kick is listening, right, to us. I feel like right now they're starting to get a little overwhelmed because everyone's like, hey, we want this, this, and this, Hype Zone, the Kicks, co-streaming, shit like that. So my question to you would be, what would be the first thing on their priority list as of now? Like, how do they prioritize everything that streamers are asking for?
right now their number one goal needs to be making the platform more accessible, because without that, none of it matters. If your mobile app is still a piece of turd, if people still can't figure out how to use it, if people still can't sub or do this or do that, at the end of the day, you have to start at the foundation of things. And right now, they need to make improvements on the UI and on everything else before they start with the other stuff. Because if not, all they're doing is putting the cart before the horse. So I think that's really where they need to start with this, more so than anything, and just be open with the community, keep being communicative with the community, talking, telling people, hey, this is what's going on, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing, this is what we have coming down the road here, you know, and keep on track with things, keep the train moving down the tracks, because if they don't, they're going to run into the same stuff that these other platforms have been. YouTube went stale for that reason.
And sticking with their word, you know, like just not talking out of their ass. But that's the thing is, you know, a lot of these companies don't understand that we as content creators are very reasonable. Like if you say, hey, I know we said we were going to do this, but X, Y, and Z came up, you know, so we couldn't do it. I'd be like, okay, like at least I know what happened and you weren't just spewing shit to say shit that you know I want to hear.
Right.
You know, like if you tell me what happened or you have different plans or you're going in a different direction, even if I don't agree with it or don't like it, that doesn't matter. I don't care. At least I know what's going on and you were transparent with me. Like, I don't want you to just be transparent with me with all the good stuff.
Yep.
I want you to be transparent with me with everything.
There's a fine line with that stuff. There are the more reasonable people in the communities in the world, and then you have the less reasonable people in the world. If you remember when Apex first came out, Respawn was extremely well. Respawn was very proactive about things. They were extremely interactive with the community, not just on their own forums, but they were out there on Discord. They were out there on Reddit. They were out there on Twitter. You would see the developers out there all the time, talking, answering questions on Reddit and this and that and the other thing. And
it's even streams.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd see them in streams even. And you don't see that anymore. And the reason you don't see that anymore is because the communities just suck. Gears of War was the same way too. Gears of War, they were very proactive with their community. Gears of War 2, they were very proactive with their community into late Gears 2 when it just got to be completely out of hand. And even Respawn has come out and said on multiple occasions, hey, please don't, send death threats to our fucking developers. We'd greatly appreciate that. Please and thank you. You know, you have the reasonable people out there who are like, oh, okay, well, you know, this happened. Okay, you know, give them a pass. They're still working on things. Then you have the other people out there, the little basement dwellers of the world, you know.
Keyboard warriors.
Exactly. The keyboard warriors who are out there and do dumb things.
Do you think another partial would be... Now, I don't want to get on an Apex topic because Lord, every god above knows, and all of our followers know that you and I could talk about Apex until we
that'll be a whole different podcast there.
Oh my god, but I do want to ask this question. Do you think that stopped when EA got involved?
EA has never necessarily been involved, per se, with Apex.
Okay.
They just kind of let Respawn do what Respawn does. As long as Respawn's making money, as long as Respawn's not fucking everything up, EA's not going to get involved in it there. EA has the involvement on the financial side of things, but they don't necessarily bother with what Respawn does with the game itself. Respawn is Respawn. EA is more so just a publishing company. They're a multi-billion-dollar company who just owns studios, and the studios do studio things. When the studios fuck up, then EA will get involved in it. When it comes to spending shit piles of money, EA is 100% involved in that. But day-to-day operations and things of that general nature, EA is not involved in that. EA don't care as long as the paychecks keep coming. They don't care. Now, EA does provide not only the financial backing, but they provide a lot of the equipment too. The servers that Respawn uses for Apex, they're EA servers. They're not Respawn. They don't own them. Respawn has a lot of money but they don't have billions and billions of dollars that EA does to lease server farms, own server farms all over the world. They don't have that kind of money. And that's why Apex is running on Titanfall servers and not on Apex servers. That's why. Right. Because they don't do that. That's EA. It's not Respawn.
And to put it in perspective for people that may not know this, and again, I'm going to say this and we're going to get off the Apex topic, but Among Us, the game Among Us has better servers than Apex Legends right now.
Absolutely.
And I think Among Us is 26, 27 ping servers, and Apex is 20.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm in the ballpark.
Yeah, they're 20. They're 20 tick.
They're 20 tick servers. Yeah. So the next time you guys are playing Apex and you're like, I was behind cover. No, you weren't.
You were. You were.
Well,
but
you
weren't over there.
You
were. Depends on which side of it. On your side, yes. Their side, no.
Right.
No. Definitely not.
Exactly.
Much.
So, to keep the ball rolling. Geez, can you believe it's been 45 minutes already?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. This is what pretty much what we do even when we're streaming. We just talk bullshit. Yeah. What we do is bitch about shit on our stream.
Right. That's honestly about it. You know, it's not hard to stream, folks.
No.
We just make it look easy.
It's really not. Well, depends how you get with it.
That in of itself is a whole other topic. It is what you make there.
It is a whole other topic. And I actually talked about this with Raven. When I talked with him, we did talk more on the content creation streaming side and stuff like that. But this is something I do want to bring up that we talked about before, but I want to bring it over again because it does tie into us talking about Kick and being a new streaming platform. And I want to reiterate, and Jolly, you again put your 10 cents into this.
Right.
Even if Kick's discoverability is better, anytime you live stream, that should be your second source of viewership.
Oh, absolutely.
You need to make content on other places, other platforms, and bring them over to your live stream.
Yes.
And especially starting now, like if you're going to start streaming on Kick, don't go on there and you might get 5-6 views and you're like, fuck yeah, I'm rolling along, I'm trolling along. Well, next thing you know, Kick's going to take off if they do. And then you're going to get hundreds of thousands of people over there, and then you're going to be at 5 viewers for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
Now is the time to start making content on other platforms and bringing them over to Kick before it's too late. Because then the next thing you know, like I said, it's going to get saturated and no one's going to find you.
Yeah, absolutely. The demographic, the style of streaming, the basis, I guess, of streaming has changed dramatically, even over the last 5 years or so. But in particular, really since COVID. But I would say over the last 5 years or so, it's not like it was back in the day when Tim the Tap Man started streaming to absolutely nobody. When there was no such thing as content creation, so to say, outside of basically YouTube and a couple random little streaming platforms, one of which was named Justin TV, as it turned out. Those guys got famous off of being on a platform that just started out on a style of content creation that didn't exist before. In those days when you could just go live and pick up viewers and viewers and viewers and viewers and viewers. In this day and age, as far as streaming and different things like that are concerned, it is more so about streaming to other platforms. Streaming your content in particular to other platforms with that. You have to break your content down. You have to kind of work backwards. You have to create content, break that content down. If your end goal is to get people watching your stream, You have to take that stream or take that content and break it down into other forms and get it on Twitter, get it on YouTube in short form or long form, get it into shorts. TikTok is another way too. Make those, throw them on TikTok. You have to kind of reverse engineer the idea of streaming if you want to stream successfully these days now. And it's kind of a backwards idea with it there, but that's just how streaming is these days. If you want to stream, you have to do everything but stream.
Yeah. Speaking of which, too, you know what I just thought of?
What's that?
Whatever happened to Hover?
I hear people talk about that every now and then, but I don't really know anything about it.
So Hover was basically, well, it is still around. It blew up, and then all of a sudden I just didn't hear anything about it at all. It's TikTok for gamers.
Yep.
It's designed for people to upload their gameplay.
Yep. On
there, and it's in a TikTok formation, and it like blew up. But you haven't heard anything since then, right? Because you were part of that craze, like you said. You were getting told about it.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of people that I knew that were starting to post on Hover and stuff like that, and Hover just never took off. And I think it was a lot of marketing on their part. They just didn't market the platform. And TikTok did a really good job of just making Hover not exist.
I just Googled something.
What's that?
Right now, the Hover app has approximately 5,300 users.
Okay. That's
not even one Tim stream.
Damn.
Oh boy. Oh, that's terrible.
Well, that is pretty not good.
Holy shit.
All things considered.
Yeah. Oh, that's not their headquarters in San Francisco has between 200 to 500 employees.
Wow, that's way too many.
Yep.
And they have about 5,000 active users.
Yep.
Talk about personalized customer service, huh?
Their revenue is only 20. Oh my God, this is a broad margin. This is a fucking broad ass margin. Their revenue fluctuates anywhere between 25 to 100 million a year.
That's still a shitload of money.
It is, but it's also a pretty big gap. That's saying we could pull 90 this year, or we could pull 25.
Right. And that's going to be more so just based on like ad revenue. That's where most of their money is coming from, I would assume.
Yeah.
Even still, 25 million is a nice problem to have. Explains why they have that many employees still. But still, fuck me running.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of people monitoring a platform with only 5,000 people on it.
Right. Talk about customized personal service there. Ooh.
Holy shit.
Everybody gets their own dedicated account specialist.
All right, hold on. Give me a second. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right Hover. Because I scroll down and I see Hover Inc. software development, and I think it might be that. So oh, well, excuse the shit out of me. Social media app Hover apparently abruptly shut down on January 5th, 2023, leaving thousands of users wondering what happened.
Well,
that's probably why we haven't fucking heard of it.
Yeah, I would have to say that's probably a fairly legitimate reason.
Wow. Yep, January 5th. It shut down. I wonder what happens if you actually try to look for it on the Play Store, if it's still on there. No, it is not.
Yeah, no, they probably yeeted the whole thing.
Oh, nope, it is.
Oh, it actually
it's got 2.5 stars.
Oh.
For reviews.
I don't know what the hell they did to earn that.
I'm not going to install it. I don't even know. You might be able to still install it, but not use it.
No, No, if they shut down, they probably took all the servers with them, I would think.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that they're still operating on anything.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine. Yeah, because then that would just be wasting money at that point. But yeah, oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah,
They
Hover
weren't
was
even
one of those ones. They just got crushed by bigger corporations that were out there. And that's how a lot of this works. Like, to start a streaming platform, I mean, like what happened to Glamesh? They had not a lot of money to start up with. I mean, they said that they had enough money for 5 years of operational costs. They didn't make it 5 years.
Nope.
They didn't make it anywhere close to 5 years. What, maybe 2? I maybe 2.
Yeah. They did 1 year of I don't even want to say thriving. That's not the word, of relevance. 1 year of relevance, and that second year was just everyone was gone already. I mean, everyone was gone by the first year of that platform.
Yeah, I would honestly even say like the first 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, they just blew themselves into nothingness with the crap that it was the way that the platform launched was what killed the entire platform. They should not have released that in an alpha form. They rushed it because there was so much hype for that platform that they just threw it out there hoping that it would work, and it wasn't ready. And it killed it. People never went back to it. People were looking for a reason to leave Trovo, to leave Twitch, to leave YouTube, the few that were on there. Everybody was looking for a reason. And Glamesh just did not give them that reason when they started. And that was unfortunate because I think that they could have had a really good chance at doing something on there. But first impressions.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, when you get people that were doing it for a long time, go over there. I mean, it doesn't take long.
No.
Right? It does not take long to go over to a platform and go, yeah, this is going to be dog shit. Or this has potential. It's an hour tops, really.
Their UI wasn't even developed when they released it.
At all?
You couldn't even, like, search for stuff when it first came out. It was absolutely crazy. You go on there and it's like, oh, okay. Nope, you have to click over here and do this and do that to get to the home screen. It's
right.
Like, why does this not just take you to the fucking home screen? You couldn't even just search, like, okay, I want to see Apex Legends. No, you couldn't do that. You had to search a specific person in order to find anything. It's like, what in the... What is this? Like, there was just... Everything about it was just backwards. They just did everything so wrong on that. They really did.
Yeah. So... well, I guess to close out, because we are hitting the hour mark here. I don't want to go too much over it because the longer we go, the more editing I have to do.
Love to see it.
So, and my knowledge in DaVinci Resolve is very limited.
Right. To DaVinci we go.
Right.
Such a
so I'm glad. Thanks for coming on, dude. And I think a lot of your positives and concerns, I don't want to say negatives because it's too new, you know, it's concerns at this point still with Kick are very valid, and I think a lot of people would agree with what we were saying. Not that I give a fuck if you agree or not, just throwing that out there for everyone listening. I don't give a shit, but it's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
Exactly.
Although if you can tell
to change.
I brought my leg, my leg up my chair because the other day I don't know if I told you this yet, but
No.
You know that granite. You remember that granite table in our living room?
Mm-hmm.
It's like marble, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking fell on my foot. Oh,
that'll do it,
dude. Oh my God. You know it's bad when you're drunk and you feel it when you're drunk. It hit me because we were having game night, so we were just drinking, playing board games, and she fucking leaned on it, and it went on
right over.
Oh yeah, and I you remember when Tom used to yell in Tom and Jerry?
Yeah,
just that. That was me, man. Oh, I'm still
That's
paying
rough.
the price.
Oh,
Holy fuck.
do we have health
Holy fuck.
insurance?
I know. Oh, I get reminded of that too every day. Because she knows how much I get when I die.
Oh yeah.
So I see her
Couple
sharpening
dollars,
the
right?
knives. Oh no, she gets a lot, dude.
Mhm.
She gets a lot
Mhm.
between the army and like my regular.
Oh yeah.
She's almost $1 million.
That's not enough to live on these days, but it's a good start.
No, but it's still, it'll pay off her car.
Well, it'll do that, and yours too, for that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
We ain't refinancing the bitch this time.
Exactly. But all right, guys. If you want to come see us live, we are both streaming on Kick right now. I'll drop links where I can. If you're listening on Spotify, be sure to go over to kick.com/bigamerica. That's BIGEMURICA. Or if you look and are watching on YouTube, that's how you spell it.
When you get to the big leagues, you get one of those.
Right. Or a wife that loves you and gives you it for Christmas.
Either way. One in the same.
They're not cheap, dude. Oh my God. Those things
at
are
all.
fucking expensive. I'm not flexing, but it is kind of cool. If you just Google Big America, it's all me. I have a whole Google page of just me. I've made it, Mom. Told you.
Right.
And then obviously my boy JollySmokeEater. Now there's a couple X's in yours,
There
right?
is not. On Kick, it is just Jolly Smoke Eater. All one word. Jolly Smoke Eater. If I have to spell it for you, you're probably not in the right place.
A B C. Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Easiest get fuck yourself. But yes, so it is Jolly Smoke Eater. Over here on Kick, fuck if I know what it is on Twitter, and you're a loser if you're on Twitter anyways. So actually I think it's Jolly_Smoke on Twitter. And Discord as well. So we do stream daily. Big E's pretty much streaming daily as well. Usually in that 9, 10 o'clock Eastern range. We're on over here hanging out. So come join.